Just give me one night in Ibiza. Don't you give me the stars? Don't you give me your love? Don't you give me your heart? Just give me one night in Ibiza. Just give me one night in Ibiza. Just give me one night.
Hey guys, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to do a guide for warriors, covering talents and glyphs. I'd like to talk to you guys about my channel and where I'm going with it before I start this guide. I just got a new background, as many of you can see if you're watching it on my channel, and I'm working on an intro, and I don't know yet how many times I'm going to publish a video per week, but I'll really try to get as much content as I can out. I'll let you guys know about like specific videos per week soon enough. But for now, let's talk about the warrior talents. Warrior's talents are somewhat self-explanatory for most of it, so I'll only talk about the controversial talents. This is what I'm running right now. Now, double time is what I prefer, but you can also go with Juggernaut. They both just depend on if you prefer one charge every 12 seconds or two every 20. I prefer double time because I'd rather be able to do two charges in a situation where I need to do two charges rather than only once every 12. Second Wind is by far the best talent in the level 30 tier. The healing done is much better than Impending Victory and Enrage Regeneration. Now, Piercing Howl can be changed for other talents in the level 45 tier. Some pick Disrupting Shout, but its 40-second cooldown can be a downside to most people. Staggering Shout's also good. It's like a root, like the double hamstring from Cataclysm. And Piercing Howl is just a hamstring that can be used farther than hamstring, which is only in melee range. Pretty useful for catching up to healers who are a little bit in front of you. Now, Blade Storm is not viable this expansion because of its damage is not even comparable to the utility of the Shockwave, which can also damage, and it's a 4-second stun on a 20-second cooldown. Now that's way better than a Blade Storm. And you can just do more raw damage while out of Blade Storm with your cooldowns up, so definitely you want to be picking Shockwave. Dragon Roar can be viable in 2s since it does a lot of damage. And people don't see the damage coming. It's kind of like a Chaos Bolt, but instant casted in melee range. It also stuns them for half a second. Now here's a real controversial tier, which you just really it depends on what your comp you're running or who you're playing against. Vigilance is just a PvE ability, you do not want to be getting that. But Safeguard and Mass Spell Reflect, those two abilities can just be changed depending on what comp you play. Before the arena, you need to decide. If it's a casting team, then you go with Mass Spell Reflection. And then you try to pick out the cast like Frost Bomb from a mage, or even CCs like Cyclone from a druid, and try to reflect those to put your team in the advantage. Safeguard is good for when it's more of a cleave team, such as KFC or TSG, where they're going to be snaring you a lot, and you can just get out of snares with Safeguard to get back on the healer or to peel for your healer in clutch situations. I think that Avatar is still the best ability in the level 90 tier, even though that it's been nerfed in the last patch in 5.1. It went up 4 seconds, but it lost the freedom and the enhanced rage regeneration. Bloodbath, some people use, but I just feel like the 20% more damage for 24 seconds is better than this bleed over seconds. Now that's it for talents. Let's talk about glyphs. Glyphs have been changed a lot since Gag Order was nerfed in 5.1 from not allowed to work against players to God our silence. The best glyph that every warrior must have is Death from Above, which reduces the cooldown on it heroically by 15 seconds and increases its damage by 100%. Now this helps you stay on people more, such as healers when you're chasing them down, and to go aid and peel. Also does a lot of damage. I've gotten a lot of kills with, like, just jumping on people who are trying to peel off. Now I like to use Blitz because it charges in a and stuns two nearby targets. So for example, when you charge a melee, or anyone really beside the healer, it will interrupt the healer's spellcast. Another good talent that you can take is Hindering Strikes. Now this is very optional because some people just like to apply hamstring, but if you're heroic striking, it also applies a similar debuff like hamstring. But some people like to use Cleave for this to replace Piercing Howl in order to take another talent like Staggering Shout, so then it roots everyone. But I feel like it's a waste of time and damage. Mortal Strike is another viable glyph, which increases your healing done by 10%, and this is going to be up for a while because you're always Mortal Striking on cooldown. Overpower is not a good glyph, however, because of the Cleave. You don't want to be using Cleave, therefore it's not viable. Some people also like to use Root Interruption. It's not my personal favorite, but if you can interrupt someone, it doesn't happen very often at higher MMRs. You'll get 6% more damage. I also switch with Spell Reflection on my Hindering Strikes, which reduces the cooldown by 5 seconds. This is one of the abilities that you change when you see that it's a spellcasting team. The minor glyphs are all